The house is quiet. The street is quiet. The whole world is asleep. Except him. His eyes are open. His heart is pounding. His hands grip the sheets like they are the only thing keeping him from falling. There is no danger. There has been no danger for 30 years. His brain doesn't know that. James Crawford wakes up at 2 a.m. Not every night, just often enough. No dream, no sound, no reason. His body simply decides it is time to be afraid. He lies still. He waits for his heart to slow down. He waits for his breathing to return to normal. He waits for the part of his brain that is screaming danger to realize there is nothing here. It takes 20 minutes, sometimes longer. Then he goes back to sleep and pretends it didn't happen. His wife knows. She has known for decades. She doesn't say anything anymore. There's nothing to say. Here is what people don't understand about panic that comes from combat. It doesn't need a trigger. Not always. Sometimes it just arrives, like a train that doesn't have a schedule. You can't see it coming. You can't prepare. You just hear it, and suddenly it is on top of you. James has had panic attacks in grocery stores, in parking lots, at his daughter's birthday party. Once, at a funeral, standing over a grave, he started shaking so badly his son had to hold him up. No explosions, no gunfire, just a brain that forgot how to tell the difference between then and now. The amygdala is the name for it, the part of the brain that sounds the alarm. In most people, it works like a smoke detector. It goes off when there is fire or when someone burns toast. Annoying, but manageable. In James, the smoke detector is broken. It goes off for no reason at all, and it doesn't stop until it has flooded the whole house with alarm. Doctors call it hyperarousal. James calls it living with a roommate who screams at nothing. You can't reason with it. You can't argue. You can only wait. He tried medication in the 1970s, pills that made him feel like a ghost. He stopped taking them. He tried therapy in the 1980s, a nice woman who asked him to talk about his feelings. He didn't know how. He tried alcohol in the 1990s. That worked for a while. Then it didn't. Now he just lives with it. The 2 a.m. panic, the sudden sweats, the way his hand reaches for a rifle that hasn't been in his life for 50 years. It is not a life, but it is his life. The worst part is not the panic itself. The worst part is the waiting. Because once you have been ambushed by your own brain enough times, you start to expect it. You never fully relax, never fully let go. There's always a part of you scanning, listening, waiting for the next wave. Veterans call it hypervigilance. James calls it being a prisoner in his own head. He can be sitting in his favorite chair, sunlight coming through the window, coffee in his hand, a good book on his lap, and somewhere inside him, a voice is whispering, "It's coming, get ready." For what? He doesn't know. Nothing, everything. The brain doesn't specify. His grandchildren don't understand why Grandpa jumps at loud noises. They think it's funny. A firework, a car backfiring, a door slamming. James smiles. He pretends it's nothing. He doesn't want them to know that for 1 second, for 1 terrible second, he was back in France, back in the mud, back in the moment when every sound meant death. The moment passes. He is in his backyard. The sun is shining. The children are laughing. But the echo of that second stays. It always stays. Here is what science has learned about the 2 a.m. panic. The brain has a memory of its own. Not the memory of facts, the memory of feeling. Even when James cannot remember the specific day, the specific battle, The specific moment of fear, his body remembers. His nervous system was trained in combat, trained to react, trained to survive. And training, once it goes deep enough, never fully goes away. The war ended in 1945. His brain is still fighting it in 1972, in 1985, in 1999, in 2023. That is not weakness, that is biology. James has tried everything: breathing exercises, meditation, long walks, woodworking, keeping busy, staying still. Nothing stops the 2 a.m. visits. Nothing silences the alarm. He has learned to live with it, not to cure it. Some nights are good. He sleeps through, wakes up rested, wonders if maybe finally it has passed. Then the next night comes, and he is back on the battlefield, not in his dreams, in his body, in his blood, in the ancient part of his brain that refuses to believe the war is over. His therapist once asked him, "What are you afraid of?" He thought about it a long time. "I'm not afraid of anything," he said. "That's the problem. There's nothing there, and my brain is still screaming." The therapist nodded. She had heard this before, from other men, other wars, other brains that learned too well and forgot how to unlearn. "You're afraid of being afraid," she said. James shook his head. "No, I'm tired. I'm just so tired of being afraid of nothing." She didn't have an answer for that. Neither did he. James is old now. The panic comes less often, not because his brain healed, because his brain is tired too. The alarms still sound, just quieter, just shorter, just less often. He has stopped fighting it. He's stopped trying to understand it. He just lets it happen, lets it wash over him, lets it pass. 20 minutes, sometimes longer. Then he goes back to sleep. His wife rolls over, puts a hand on his chest, says nothing. That helps. More than the pills, more than the therapy, more than the alcohol ever did. Someone next to him, someone who stays, even when his brain is screaming at nothing. That is not a cure, but it is enough. Most nights. If this stayed with you, there are more stories on this channel. Hit subscribe, because some wars never end.